In Opelika, Alabama, witness Thelma Jones and later her husband Roscoe were arrested and unjustly convicted of selling books without a license. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld their conviction 5-4.
The Supreme Court ruled that the state, in this case the city of Opelika, had the right to impose a fee and a permit for the so-called privilege of talking to one's neighbor.
Yet, in the defeat, there lay a glimmer of hope. Dissenting Justices Douglas, Murphy, and Black stated that the Jones case and the earlier Gobitis flag salute case were wrongly decided. Jehovah's Witnesses saw their opportunity. They forged ahead with a new flag salute case.
Well, Brother Covington, it looks like we're ready to go to trial.
West Virginia State Board of Education versus Barnett. In the Barnett case, the court reversed itself, overturning the decision in Gobitis. The court ruled that the school board has no right to deny education to children of Jehovah's Witnesses who refuse to salute the flag. In that one year, 1943, the United States Supreme Court rendered 21 decisions favorable to Jehovah's Witnesses. Meanwhile, witnesses in the province of Quebec, Canada, were being arrested regularly, sometimes twice a day. Quebec's head of state, Premier Maurice Duplessis, made it his personal ambition to silence Jehovah's Witnesses. But his efforts backfired. After a 12-year battle, the Canadian Supreme Court convicted Duplessis for his harassment of Jehovah's Witnesses. The condemnation of the premier of a province was unprecedented in Canadian history, and it was hailed as a landmark for individual freedom. Legal battles were not limited to North America. In Greece, some 20,000 arrests were carried out against Jehovah's Witnesses. Over a period of 48 years, Minos Kokkinakis was arrested more than 60 times for preaching. He spent years in prison and in exile.
If I was keeping a book, how could I write it? 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. Many times I was in prison and exile. That was a whole life. 50 years. They sentenced us deliberately and premeditated.
Finally, in 1993, the European Court of Human Rights upheld the right of a Greek citizen to teach his religious beliefs to others, and ruled that Greece had violated the freedom of Minos Kokkinakis. To date, Jehovah's Witnesses have won over 200 favorable decisions in the highest courts on earth.
Burning deep within the hearts of Jehovah's Witnesses is the desire to show Jehovah how much we love him. As secular authorities attempt to impede our effort, then with that same degree of zeal, we work to protect our witnessing activities.
To know that if you put your trust in Jehovah, he will help you through it, no matter what.
The wonderful thing about persecution, if I can call it that, is that it demands a firm decision.
Jehovah is a powerful fighter. Who can fight with him?
No matter how much opposition we may face, or what form or shape it may take, our trust in Jehovah will never let us down. He's backing us up.
Throughout the legal battles and persecution, Jehovah's Witnesses were experiencing amazing growth. The School of Gilead was making an impact. In the first 10 years of its operation, over 2,000 missionaries had been trained and dispatched. And the number of Jehovah's Witnesses quadrupled. In Africa, in just 11 years after the start of the Gilead School, the number of Jehovah's Witnesses increased by 800%. The message took hold in the Orient as well. When Gilead missionaries arrived in Japan in 1949, there were fewer than 10 native witnesses. But in less than 50 years, that number would multiply to over 200,000.
Most definitely, it's not the result of human efforts, but it's the result of Jehovah's Spirit. It's true, he uses humans. He blesses their efforts, but it's God who makes it grow.
Worldwide, Jehovah's Witnesses were preaching in 143 countries. The work was expanding on every continent. The witnesses were growing, not just in number, but in understanding. Since the days of C.T. Russell, Jehovah's Witnesses had been using Bible translations accepted in the various lands in which they preached.
The kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of
But there were a
salt.
number of problems. Antiquated language, the presence of spurious texts, and the fact that most translators had replaced the name of God, Jehovah, with titles such as Lord or God.
It's just as if you're reading a letter about a personal friend, someone you love, and their name's not in there. It just talks about the man or the person.
And so the need was seen to have a translation where the name Jehovah is mentioned everywhere where it used to be in the original writing.